What's up? We're just gonna jump straight into it, man. No intros, nothing right now because there's no reason. We're gonna cut the bullshit. We usually cut the bullpen. We're gonna cut the bullshit because right now, I respect when my colleagues, my co-hosts, my friends, for that matter, maybe I cheer for their teams, and maybe I don't. You know, but I don't like to see them suffer. And right now, it is a tough sledding kind of day. Even though you don't sled very often in Florida. Well, the same kind of applies right now in Tallahassee. So the Twitterverse is blowing up for a reason, and they're looking for Ukulele's head. Yes, I'm calling him Ukulele because I'm not going to go. They're looking for his head, and I think that is pretty much actually deserved. Joe, before we get into anything, I just think the opening statement is pretty much obvious. I'll let you take over, sir.
I'm honestly watching just quarterback malpractice, if I do say so myself, as far as DJ is concerned. We have not been able to sustain a single drive in this game longer than 2 minutes. It feels like anything that I've seen in this game has either been a 2-and-out or a drive that doesn't last longer than a high school relationship. Okay. And they just drove literally right down the field on them and scored another touchdown. So
yes, it did.
This is the reason why this is happening. You have a dual threat quarterback, and you have a team that emphasizes the run because of that. Now, because of that, they're able to get chunk plays on the passing game, but this is literally they're just literally steamrolling this team. And the reason why we just got gashed in an 8-play 75-yard drive is because we've been on the field for 30 minutes on defense. This is why that's happening, because we can't sustain drives in the first half. Now they're coming out in the second half gassed because they've been on the field for 30 minutes and they literally chunk plays. I can tell you why we're frustrated. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to start the drive. Right off rip, we give them the 40-yard line. Unacceptable football. Unacceptable football. I don't care if it's jet lag. I don't care if it's whatever is going on over there, they need to get it together. Because right now, it's looking like they're going to have to fight just to even get a bowl game. Forget the playoffs. I just want to win a game. A game. Let's start there.
Yeah. I don't think there's any kind of argument. When you won't find the argument over here. I'm usually, I can't believe I'm the one. I'm actually been the optimist, and we were laughing about this to an extent pre-game. Not pre-game, pre-show. I can't. I'm sorry, Joe. I can't be optimistic right now with this. This is literally the equation, and you pointed out what they needed to win. I agree. I don't think it's just the way that Florida State needs to win. It's the way most teams need to win. You need to control the time of possession. You need to make sure, and controlling the time of possession is, you don't have to be run heavy, but you have to be able to stop the run. And if you can impose your will on them with the run, meaning like that means that you're controlling the ball. You're controlling the game, the pace, and that sets up everything else. Florida State's not doing any of that. Literally, here's the time possession. It literally just popped up. I'm rounding up. 30 minutes to 15 minutes. 2-1. Ouch. What a kick in the balls, dude. And they just lost yards, Florida State. This is like, I don't know if they need to put Kai or what a DJ Ukulele out. They need to get his ass out of the game. I don't even see like why this.
It's not even just that. Like, so the first two possessions, they went pass, and then they went run, pass to 3 quick at 3-and-outs. And then they started to run the football in the second one, and they fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't understand what the game plan is here. Like I thought what we could try to do is establish the run early, try to get ahead of the chains, and make it very, make it easy for us to get to a third and short situation. That way we could sustain drives. But when you go 5 passes and 1 run play in the first 6 plays of the game, like how do you expect I don't understand what the game plan process was in doing that, knowing that you're facing a team that's going to eat up a lot of clock and eat up a lot of plays because they're going to emphasize running the football. First 2 drives, 8 plays, or first 3 drives for BC, 8 plays, a punt, 14 plays, touchdown, 7 plays, touchdown.
That'll just drain a defense like no other, dude. It was just drain.
Drives together were already 20 minutes on the field on offense.
That's gonna sap them of energy. They got a first down with the running with the quarterback. He ain't exactly the quickest guy, quickest Samoan I've ever seen in my life, or Hawaiian. I'll say
he's mobile. He's not like
he's very slow.
He's not gonna outrun anyone.
No kidding.
He has mobility.
Yeah, he's kind of pokey is the way I would put it, I guess. It's like how Ben Roethlisberger wasn't like fast, but he can move within the pocket. Okay, so there's a lot of blame to go around. I mean, this game's not done yet, in all honesty. We know it's not done. It looks bleak, it looks grim, but does this start? Who is the primary blame fall on at this time? Is this coaching for preparation, execution? Is it quarterback? I mean, where do you put the first? There's obviously blame to go around, but where's your number one going in this?
All right. Well, I don't know if this is for one, ROC is out for the first 3 games, right?
Yeah.
So ROC is out for the first 3 games due to recruiting violations. Okay. So that's one. I don't know who's calling the plays right now. I feel like I should know that as a Florida State fan. That's on me. My bad. But I don't know who's calling the plays right now. I don't know if it's an offensive assistant or if Mike himself is calling the plays. But if we're talking about a recipe for success, 32 pass attempts for DJ is coaching malpractice. Okay. After that first game with Georgia Tech, I expected to see a lot more rushing attempts, and we're 12 for 38 right now. So I don't know if that was just us getting behind early, but I can tell you right now, I mean, the margin was pretty consistent throughout, I think, to where we shouldn't have been abandoning the run to where we only have 12 attempts. I understand going to the passing attack now that we're down 2 touchdowns and we're heading into the third quarter. But leading up until then, I feel like we should have more carries than what we had. They have 37 for almost 200 yards.
Appreciate you.
So that tells me we had a leaky offense. Georgia Tech was not an aberration. We can get exposed in the run game, and that's exactly what Boston College is doing. They saw the game in Ireland. They saw how we can get got, and they have a quarterback similar to what Georgia Tech had, they're exploiting it. And they're exploiting it. It's the same formula. Thomas only has 2 touchdowns passing and 106 yards. They're getting gashed on the run all day.
You know, they always say you should have a short memory in football as a quarterback or whatever. That should not be the case in coaches' situations. And because when I'm thinking of that, it's saying like, hey, you know what we did wrong this past week? Let's do the exact same thing we did wrong this week and come out. Because now, like you said, you're a boxer who's already been cut several times. You're down in the points in the 10th round. So you're putting squirrel punches out there or rabbit punches, etc. You know, you're just fishing for stuff. That ain't going to get it done. That ain't going to get it done. So yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a coaching malpractice. And also because as the head coach, you were supposed to be able to have all this under control. But hey, you know what? Let's take the heat off of Florida State for a minute since it's breaking the quarter. And first off, thank you for being on, Joe. I know it's a tough bit for you at the moment, but hey, why don't you go ahead and anything happy you want to announce, or and also please give us where to find you. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, any ramblings that I have regarding entertainment or sports, you're gonna find them at Java Joe Sports on the X. Link to my writing portfolio is on there as well. Obviously, not a great night for the boys tonight. We'll see what happens here in this fourth quarter. Nothing really to announce right now. We're about halfway into our master's class this term. Got about 5-6 weeks left. Working on this sci-fi story. Sci-fi fantasy story that I'd like to have a story Bible for by the end of this 10-week period. So somewhere around my birthday on the 4th of next month, that might drop on the website, depending on if it's polished and ready to go. But yeah, that's where we're at.
And that will be absolutely promoted on every site that we can, especially every ScOutCast Media channel or every ScOutCast Media show and everything on this channel. I can't wait to find it. I'm a huge science fiction nerd, and his date is moving up. It was at Thanksgiving. Now it's even maybe a little bit earlier as a first draft or something. I'm excited. I'm excited to read it. So everyone, this man is very, very intelligent. It's very intelligent, and I don't think I've gotten deep into his psyche in the science sci-fi world. So I'm looking forward to it, Joe. I'm looking forward to it. You can find everything. Speaking of ScOutCast Media Hub, you can find everything ScOutCast Media Hub at LivingIt09 on Twitter, and you can find everything else on YouTube and Twitch on ScOutCast Media Hub as well, and our previous shows at Total Apex Sports. Shout out to all of our hosts that just like Joe, especially being in. Hey, you know what? You gotta give it to a guy. You gotta give it to the guy when. That's like if my which is very likely, knock on wood, like my team struggles, I actually gotta, I gotta be on here, or I don't have to, but I choose to be on here, or he chooses to be on here when shit's going awry. You know what? That shit's toughness. It's just toughness. It's like those Rocky movies where he gets hit in the fucking jaw 50 times and he still stays on the mat, still stays on them. Even though half those movies, I feel like they would have called technical knockout on him, but that's okay. It's Rocky. We're not going there. All right, here's my only. I'm gonna open with this. I'm gonna take it off football just 1 second right now, because in North Carolina, I don't know if this is where you are too, Joe, because I don't think you have DirecTV, and I don't either. But there's another contract dispute between ESPN and another provider. For last year it was Spectrum. This year it is DirecTV, and most of the sports bars carry DirecTV. So exactly. So you know what they have now? Wrestling is on, and you know what? I weep for this wrestling. I'm looking at this wrestling. I weep for how it is now. What happened to the good? Remember back in my day, man, the Attitude Era was the freaking shit, dude.
Listen, I'm a storyline person, so I personally love what's going on right now. But continue.
But come on, but the storyline was still better in Attitude Era, though. Oh, the costumes, the thing.
They could do a lot more. Wait till I know. They're still on network television right now.
I know. Well, I mean, again, that's out of their control, but still, that makes it even better. A lot of un-PC things, but still, The Rock talking about poontang pie and Stone Cold flicking off and slamming beers, putting people through fire tables and stuff like. Okay, I'm just looking at this. Also, I don't know. It's also because I'm biased. I'm so biased. It's just true. The Attitude Era. That's where it is. Yeah, that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. All right, I had to get that out of the way. But we mentioned. Let's see about we were giving Florida State a lot of shit, a lot of grief about coaching. I think it's time we dish it out somewhere else. What do you think, man? I think we dish it out somewhere else.
Yeah,
there was a game. I think it occurred. It occurred a day previous to this one. I think it was a team based in the small state of California, and they all played in Las Vegas, some city you can gamble in, bet, and etc. And they played a team that is from the Bayou, and the game was very anticlimactic the way it finished after being the way it was. And then we had a very weird post-game interview with Brian Kelly, who it's like a robot that is trying to show that he has emotion, but he does not really convey it very well. So I'll all right. I'll give this quick take, and then I want you to take over after this. All right. Here's what I'm going to say about LSU. this game was it was so exciting. It was so badass. It was so where it needed to be in terms of the excitement. Both defenses were outperforming what anyone thought it was going to be. Like totally outperforming it. USC especially. And I don't know what happened, but Jesus Christ. I mean, LSU just started looking like their quarterback just couldn't hit the easiest of passes. And they started making mental errors. And here's the other thing. They go down all right, they get the targeting penalty. It happens. So they got a kicker that, that already missed a short kick to finish the first half. I'll see if he can do it in the second half. But all you got to do is stop them because you knew what they were going to do. Run it in the middle, a draw play. And that was like I was like, please say those 3 tackles that were missed, at least 2 of them were actually intentional, because it looked like someone trying to grab a greased pig. And it was like, okay. And then the simplest of plays, not to score a touchdown on, but the simple of plays to at least get the first pass off, a hook and lateral. The dude gets picked off, even though it was technically hit the ground. It couldn't have been further from the guy who was open. It's literally a drop off. So the game was so good, and in the most anticlimactic form, it just exactly. That's where I'm going to leave it for now. Joe, if you want to, you can take it over from here with this. It was wild.
I mean, listen, LSU was ballsy from the start, right? They go on that long drive, they get to the 3 of USC, and then they lose it on downs, right? Go big or go home. So me personally, I take the points early.
Probably, yeah.
They traded some punts, traded some touchdowns, traded some field goals. We're tied at the half. Now, I was a person who advocated that if there was a team that might surprise people, and by surprise, I don't mean like, I'm not talking 9-4, I'm not talking 10-3, something like that, something outrageous. But if there was a team feeling some type of way about how their program's being talked about going into a new conference, I said that USC might surprise some people.
Yeah.
And I said that because, a lot of people, they don't understand, like what Lincoln Riley did in Oklahoma and how that would, translate into, USC and bringing that program back to super prominence. So I like to root for teams that hear a lot of noise from the outside and really borderline on disrespect. And that's what I felt like USC was. I felt like a lot of the stuff that were being said about them was borderline disrespectful, given what Lincoln Riley's brought to college football. Now, as far as their team's concerned, listen, the quarterback's going to look great under Lincoln Riley. I mean, look at his track record. The quarterback's always good under Lincoln Riley.
Absolutely.
The big bugaboo about his squads has always been the defensive end of the game of the field, and 20 against an LSU team. I mean, you can argue that LSU ranked 13th, maybe overrated to some, but to hold a whole team like that to 20 points and win the game, says a lot about the USC program to start the season. Now, can they keep it up? We'll see. Time will tell on that, but I personally I like where USC is trending towards. If they can keep this up, a little bit more consistency on the defensive end, I think Moss is going to win you a lot of games. I think just because of the relationship that Lincoln Riley's had with his quarterbacks, they just always look good under his tutelage. So let's see what happens there. LSU, I think this is more the same with the LSU. I think LSU coming off of the Burrow era, which began and lasted one season. I think if you look I think if you look at that era and look at where LSU is now and looking at where they got Brian Kelly from, I think they expected a little bit more. I think they expected, you know, that momentum that, you know, he had with Notre Dame to carry over and, you know, hopefully get them into like the playoff conversation, especially now that it's 12 teams. That press conference tells me that he doesn't feel that this team is there. Largely mentally. I think he came really close to the Denny Green Arizona versus the Bears conversation. I think he came really close to that rant as far as they were exactly who they thought they were, and that they let him off the hook. I mean, anyone who watched that press conference had to be getting Denny Green vibes, because I sure did.
I did too. That's so weird you said that. I literally did.
And you know, LSU was a little bit better shape than the Cardinals were to be able to have that statement. You know, like Cardinals, I think, you know, maybe the Bears were still low at that period. That maybe that's why you can have an argument. But I didn't find Arizona to be that great to be able to say, hey, they are who we thought they were, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Brian's upset. And I don't know what happened in the algorithm and in the robot that he is that, you know, decided
Thank you.
That led to his slamming the table. It almost like the binary code in his brain was just trying to figure out what to do next, and then it slammed the table. That's how natural it looked. It almost looked like someone typed in the code in his brain before he slammed the table. So listen, I like being fiery. I would like it for it to look a little bit more authentic. But listen, if you're upset, be upset. Be upset and be loud and proud about it.
I'm so glad you said that.
But yeah, I mean, the main argument that he had was that his team beat himself, and a lot of the comments that I saw in social media was a lot of the comments that I saw on the clip was him using the whole, okay, that's on me as a coach, but pivoting right to how it's the kid's fault. Like that's a lot of the comments that I heard. Is like, okay, he put the coach speak out there, but only to say we have got 5-year seniors getting personal foul penalties, or we're getting our upperclassmen who are supposed to know better are getting these penalties, or our team is letting teams off the hook when we should be, you know, stepping on their neck, so to speak.
I'm so glad. Hold up, if I may. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm actually going to show Dylan is on the stage. Dylan, I'll get you in 1 second. Joe, I want you to continue your diatribe after this. I'm actually going to show a very brief clip. I don't want to show the whole press conference, but I'm going to show so people know what the reference is. So everyone enjoy this quick the Kelly bot. Let's enjoy the Kelly bot for 1 second. This is so great. I love how you said his biometrics. That's great.
Yeah, I think it's the first time since I've been here that I'm pretty angry at our football team. And
Coach, is it disappointing when you have, you know, Savion Jones kind of really rose up, Aaron Anderson, John Emery, they kind of put you in position? Is it disappointing when those guys perform and you don't get a victory?
Hell yes. Hell yes. I mean, and that's what I said to the team. I said, we had some guys played their butts off tonight, and we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things, about not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away. But what we're doing on the sideline is feeling like the game's over. And I'm so angry about it that I got to do something about it. I'm not doing a good enough job as a coach, and I got to coach him better, because it's unacceptable for us not to have found a way to win this football game. It's ridiculous.
Oh my God. All right. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough of that. Okay. That's enough of that. Oh, Dylan, you're in. I'm sorry. I just have to, Joe, I know. Okay. Joe, I want you to continue, but it's like it is the most forced, angry tone I've ever heard. It's like I want you to get mad, okay, and just
I don't know. Maybe that's the leftover Notre Dame in him. Maybe maybe
50 demerits, 50 demerits slapped with a ruler.
Maybe how he had to conduct business up there just kind of clicked in there, and he didn't know whether to revert back to his old self or
It's
or
just it's ridiculous. Oh.
or the training that he got up there. But listen, obviously that was a man that looked like he had a bad day at the office. All right, let's just be honest. He had a bad day at the office. He was over it, but he had to answer these questions like a professional should. Show up to the press conference, answer the questions, and do what he needs to do. But man, he had a bad day at the office. And you know what? Mike Norvell's about to have a real bad press conference here really soon.
Oh, that's gonna happen. Oh, that's gonna happen.
You're in the same boat, brother. It's okay. It's all right.
You know what? If I could frame that meme, frame that press conference as a meme, it would be that guy at Sunday Mass, the guy that's angry at Sunday Mass when they run out of the crackers. He's like, I'm just so angry right now. Gosh, I'm so angry. I'm just tired of it. I was like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Okay, so let me look at this. Don't worry. Oh god, yeah. Florida State's gonna have to answer. We'll get back to them. Okay, hey Dylan, how you doing, brother?
Oh, just another day in paradise. Just getting off playing video games. Saw you were on. Let's make an appearance.
Hi. I'm gonna be playing video games at some point tonight. I will be 34 in 1 hour and 29 minutes. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. Hey, what are you gonna do? Well, I'm not going to say your Georgia Bulldogs. I'm sorry, I can't make myself say it. But I'll say that we'll get to them in a bit. I'm going to actually pose a different question to you, other than the guy who is just mad at communion because they ran out of crackers over there. I'm just saying, that is. Like they don't have my favorite sermon this week. I wanted this passage. No, it's like the most frustrating. Like, honey, I wanted a macchiato, not a latte. All right, I'm done. Okay, Brian Kelly is such a weirdo. He is a weirdo. He's not as weird as Jim Harbaugh, but he's a weirdo. I mean, go in there like go in there guns ablazing. Like I'm fucking tired of this shit. Like, come on.
It's like that slow build up to the bang.
That's the kind of guy that scares me more than people that let cussing and steam out, because that's the kind of guy that you like worry comes to self-strapped with grenades and stuff one day, because he's like so built up inside. He's like literally wearing a vest of C4. He's like just so angry. It's like, dude, you really need to get out and do something. Like go to the gun range, please. Go to the boxing mat. Go to the boxing ring. Something, please, God. You're keeping it built in, bro. You're in the South, for God's sake. They'll let you shoot guns anywhere at that point, as long as it's not against us. Okay, so here's my question to you on a serious note. They had it on today on a certain network. I'm not gonna plug them because to hell with them. But Joey Galloway, I like Joey Galloway. He's a nice guy. You know, I think he was being too nice. I love Marcus Spears. He's hilarious. And he's smart. Bayou boy. Galloway was still saying like, oh, I mean, everyone's like acting like LSU's just done, blah, blah. And then he was talking about Dabo. We'll get to Dabo. Oh, trust me. We'll get to Dabo. Oh, trust me. We'll get to Dabo. He's more fun to pick on than anyone. Speaking of a guy that gets mad when he doesn't have crackers at Baptist communion. Okay, so here's the thing about Brian Kelly. They're saying it's unfair of the criticism he's taken, which I'm like, well, first off, his job isn't in jeopardy, only because of the money. You know what you sign up for when you go to the SEC, in my opinion. So you're judged at a different level. And now that if you don't make the playoffs when there's a 12-team league or 12-team bracket, that makes you even more culpable. I mean, so I mean, is it? Am I wrong in thinking that he should be under the gun from the fans? Is the fans as much as he is?
LSU is a far different place than almost anywhere in the country.
I think that's the truth.
Like the last 2 coaches that they've fired have won national championships for them.
That's true. That's true.
But the thing is with Brian Kelly, I think he can get LSU there. And you have to expect that this season you got the Nussmeier kid. It's probably not going to be that championship year that you're hoping for, and particularly this year, the SEC is a little bit deeper than what it normally is. Tennessee looks viable. Tennessee looks viable.
I called that, by the way. Letting everyone know that. Sorry. Just want to keep going. I just want to let everyone know I called that.
Tennessee looks viable. Texas has everybody and their cousin coming back. Georgia is Georgia. Alabama, there's still going to be at least some semblance of Alabama.
Some sort, yeah. For sure.
And
Ole Miss, and let's keep it could go. And Ole Miss, Texas A&M didn't look shabby the other day. They looked decent enough. So yeah, it's deep. Missouri, and that's another team. Missouri, people sleep on Missouri. That team is good, man.
So so what a lot of fans are going to have to understand is that there's only going to be one champion. There's only 12 teams that's going to get in, and if you're lucky, you'll get 5 from the SEC, maybe.
Ooh, that's a lot, but yeah, it's possible.
And quite frankly, this year, LSU is not a top 5 team in the SEC. They're just not. And I was surprised. I was actually surprised by USC's defense. That was able to keep. That was able to not give up 134 points. And so
that was impressive. You're right.
And so I may have been wrong about USC coming into it being just a blue blood program with nothing but a skeleton left.
And it's a 1 week sample size, no doubt, and I think we all agree on that. So right now, it doesn't silence the critics, including myself included. I am eating Trojan Crow at this point this week for USC. Take that for what you will. But I'm not sold on it quite yet. I'm not silenced. I'm quieted. Joe, I actually wanted you to, excuse me, while you were doing something real quick. I want to actually extend that same question about the fairness of, like, Joey Galloway. I said I'm not going to say the network, but he was, and we'll get to the other coach again very shortly because it's going to be fun, and I'm going to have fun tearing a new ass into that. But Brian Kelly, yeah, I don't think he's not in danger of getting fired. Not this year. Weirder things have happened, but no, not this year. But he's gonna get crucified today if he hasn't already. I'm sure he has. And it's gonna be like, people. Joey Galloway was saying how unfair it is. Like, oh, like people are like, it's one game. It's one game. I'm like, yeah, but you're in the SEC again. Even if it's a better, which Dylan makes a good point, it is a very stacked league. Ever since Nick Saban left, especially, which is ever since he left. It's been like, what I'm saying, since the news came out him being gone, I think everyone knew it was going to be a free-for-all, other than Georgia. Georgia's they've been the new powerhouse. Do you think it's unfair the way that people are going to criticize and have criticized him for every loss he takes? And this goes for Lane Kiffin and anyone else too, right? So, yeah, Joe, your opinions on that.
Well, I mean, here are the expectations here. Okay, this isn't his first job, right? Like he's been doing this.
Sure
He's been
ain't.
in this echelon of coaching since back when he was in Cincinnati. He was getting Cincinnati into Orange Bowls and Sugar Bowl.
Holy shit! I
So
forgot about that.
Let's
Wow.
remember that. And if I'm LSU looking at what he came from in Notre Dame, he had 12-1, 11-2, 10-2, 11-1 in his last 4 seasons there. So my expectation is like, all right, you did this in Cincinnati, you did this in Notre Dame, like you should have the credibility to do this at LSU. Now, granted, all the SEC faithful is going to be like, all right, yeah, you did that over there, but this is the SEC. Everybody's always okay, but this is the SEC. Like that's just how it is down here in the South.
Yeah.
So I'll co-sign that, obviously.
Yeah.
And what Kirby Smart's doing in Georgia, obviously, a lot is going to change when you come to the SEC. So it's not even just that, okay? It's not even just that, but all the teams that have just now come into the SEC that now joins them. This is why when you talk about LSU and how Dylan said, I don't even think LSU is in the top 4. Well, yeah, Texas is here, and with that comes obviously whatever was at the top now maybe moves down depending on where you rank Texas. So yeah, I'd have to co-sign that. I don't think they're the top 4 in SEC either.
I agree.
It's still going to be Alabama with who they have as a coach. He just came from no scrub. Again, that was in the back. This is the SEC. Great, fine. But he's not going to forget how to coach from the West Coast to the South. So I don't believe that they're going to take that big of a drop off. Plus, they still have Jalen Milroe. Okay, shout out. They do. So I think it's very possible they're not in the top 4 in the SEC. But furthermore, the way he talks about what's happening with his team is that they're making the same mistakes that he has since he's been there. And he said, I've never been more angry at my team than but you just said we're talking about the same thing. So clearly something in what they did in the game against USC, they've done before and you've been upset about, because for you to say I've never been as angry as I am right now, but then say they're doing the same, we're talking about the same things, is a contradictory statement.
Oh God.
Is he in trouble? No, I don't think he's in trouble, because
not this year.
The field is opened up to like, okay, there we can field 12 in a playoff now. It's very gettable with that being the case, but the competition's also gotten better in the SEC with the incoming team. So he's not in trouble yet. They're gonna give him some time, but you have to figure it out quick.
Yeah, not this year. Not this year. I don't think he's in trouble this year. I think it's definitely on the horizon if he continues. That's where I would say. If he can now, because he can't. Well, it's about that time to move to the next one. Oh yeah, but I want you to go. Finishing comments on this, Dylan. Start off.
Well, I think it's also important to look at the schedule. Look at LSU's schedule.
Yeah,
it's not a murderer's row.
No, they don't play Georgia and they don't play Texas. That's the 2 big ones. They don't play either of those 2 teams.
They play Nicholas, wherever that is.
Nichols State. It's a Division 2, Division 1, whatever. So, yeah,
exactly.
I think either way, it's a.
Then they got South Carolina.
Schedule.
South Carolina win. UCLA win. South Alabama win. Ole Miss, probably
that's a
loss.
tough game. That's
probably a loss, but it is in Baton Rouge, and we all know crazy things happen in Death Valley. At Arkansas, win. Texas A&M, win. Alabama in Baton Rouge, again, crazier things have happened. At Florida, win. Vanderbilt, give me a break. Oklahoma, probably a win.
That's sneaky. That's sneaky. But, careful for that. Yeah.
But I mean, LSU still looking at 11. Could be looking at 11-1. 9-3 at the 9-3 at the very bottom.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
So, yeah, the offense didn't look good, but neither did Georgia's in the first half against Clemson, and
No. Yeah.
neither did Ohio State's offense, who they spent more money than the New York Yankees on that
Oregon.
offense.
Same with Oregon.
Like nobody has really looked good against somewhat
Except for
decent
all.
teams.
Yeah.
Outside of the few that played Division II teams.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's absolutely nothing to worry about if you're LSU because if USC continues their trend, and we'll find out exactly how good USC is in a few weeks when they go to the Big House. Because that is a bad matchup for USC. Even with Michigan looking not great on offense.
Yeah.
It's not a good matchup for USC, and if they can come out of Ann Arbor with a win, then USC is certainly on the table for more than just being a Big Ten. Hey, look, we got this team kind of team.
I think we all can agree when it comes to this. I think we can leave LSU at this. They lose any of those games they're not supposed to, like Oklahoma or Arkansas, something like that, randomly. That's it. They're kaput. Even if it's 2 losses, that's it. Kaput. They're done. I think we all can agree on that, right? I mean, if you lose to
I think it's really telling you schedule Nichols after USC for me. Just in case we screwed a pooch on that first one. Let's get a get right game right away.
Oh yeah, they have to. Well, that has to happen. But they did luck out not getting Texas or Georgia, Alabama, and again, Alabama's my beef with them is not that I think their coach is obviously he's proven, and yes, he's not been in the SEC. My beef more with Alabama. Well, my beef with taking my thoughts about Alabama as a school out of the equation. They just have a lot of gaps in their team from people transferring out of there once Saban left. Their defense has holes, and Ohio State reaped the benefits of that. So I mean, good for Ryan Day. But I'm so glad someone brought up whiny babies for coaches, and someone also look at Clemson. You know who also had a really fun day as a coach in press conference, and who also deflected it, just saying it's all good, we're all good. This little douchebag named Dabo Sweeney, who I cannot stand. I can't stand his team. I can't stand him. The dude, praise who you want to praise. I'm fine with it. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, I'm fine, man. Man, stop bringing stuff. Man, God and Jesus are busy right now, man. Don't keep trying to drag him into your football team. Come on, bro. I mean, come on, man. There's already other people, millions of other college football and high school teams trying to help out. Can't keep helping your ass out when you don't want to help yourself out with the transfer portal. I mean, come on, Dabo. You're creepy. Talking about rubbing yourself in lamb's blood and all this crap. You're like, all right, man. Woo. All right. Yeah. But Dabo, taking that out of the equation, Dabo is let's just get into Dabo. I've already started it off. Is the criticism fair about Dabo?
I don't think I've ever seen a team poised to be the next great dynasty fall so hard. And I mean, I think Cade Klubnik can be a great quarterback, but they're so hamstrung. They're so hamstrung by not using this whole new magical thing called the transfer portal that can cure any spots that you're lacking in. And I mean, we saw it play out last year. What works the absolute best? When Florida State brought in everybody and their cousin, and then Florida State wiped the floor with the ACC.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like it's there. Use it.
And here's another thing where Joey Galloway, I don't know what Joey Galloway was a lot more, it was like more optimistic than I was today. And that's saying something because I'm over here trying to cheer Joe up about Florida State. And obviously that was a losing battle. So I was trying, but it just, yeah, well, that's enough said about that. But, something he said, he kept trying to defend Dabo. Is like, he's something like there'd be so many colleges that would like love to have him. And I'm glad Paul Feinbaum said, like, okay, here's something that people don't really know, though. There was a very large opening this offseason, which people do know. It was this college called the University of Alabama. He was not even close to being on that list. And they're not the only ones. People do not, and he actually went to Alabama. He graduated from Alabama. He played football in Alabama. They didn't want anything to do with him. And they're not the only ones, for sure. I mean, and it's because he's so stubborn about it. I don't know what his douchey deal is with it. All right, their previous championship was in 2018. You know what started that exact same year? The transfer portal and NIL. And ever since then, it has been, if you have like a line graph, steadily, and merrily, life is going. It's not just a dream. So it was not a dream. So he's living in the reality of this. And he just keeps saying everything's okay. And I don't know what Clemson's expecting to do. I know Joey Galloway. I think I respect you as a player and a football mind. You're absolutely wrong. You're missing the whole point of this. You know what the college football landscape is about? Similar to NFL. It's not what have you done for me? What have you done for me recently? And 2018 ain't exactly recent in college football. What is it? 2004. It's 6 years in college football. It's like dog years, essentially. So we're like, let's make it like 20 years, essentially. And I'm not using exact math, obviously, but still.
With
I mean,
the changes,
Clemson,
it might as well be dog years.
it might as well. So it's the fact that he keeps doubling down again. He's just, this dude is, one, he's out of his gourd. Two, he's a weirdo. And three, well, I guess those go combined here. If his ass ain't on the hot seat, I hate Clemson anyway. So they keep wanting to put themselves in purgatory. Hey, be my guest, bro. Be my guest. But that fan base.
And we were talking earlier about the SEC being wide open. The only conference that's more wide open is the ACC. Now, I made this proclamation with Gabe. Unfortunately, it wasn't on stream. So I'll just make it now.
Do it.
Boston College is going to win the ACC. They are.
You know, that was so weird. Someone in the background didn't even hear what you said, but right when you said that, literally, someone at another table said, nah. It was like, they're going to win the ACC. And out of nowhere, they didn't hear you. They said, nah. I was like, did you hear? that was, I'm not joking. No bullshit. That actually just happened. It couldn't have been weirder timing. The THOS is going to win the ACC. Nah. Okay, but well, continue your thought. Though. I'm sorry. That was just weird. I had to point.
I mean, there's only a handful of actually good coaches in the ACC. You can make the case for Mac Brown.
Yeah, damn right. It's all time. Yeah.
You have Bill O'Brien, who everybody seems to have forgotten what he's done at Penn State. And
Bill O'Brien. Penn State. Bill O'Brien's not in Penn State's not in the ACC. First off, Bill O'Brien.
No. I'm saying what he did at Penn State.
Oh. Got you. Sorry. I misunderstood.
And he saved the Titanic from sinking at Penn State.
Yeah, that's true.
And he had a pretty decent run at Houston. Now he's got an opportunity again in college football where he really showed what he can do. And Boston College has always been that team that's been that's just right there. And now they have a coach that can break them through that wall.
Slowly but surely. I mean, I think that I do agree. I don't agree necessarily with Boston College this season, but I do agree that it is wide open. And I think it's a bold prediction. Apparently, even though the guy didn't hear me in the back, didn't hear you in the background, I don't know, somehow the ether, he didn't agree with you. I don't know how, but that was weird. But it's a bold prediction, but I'm not going to dismiss it because I think it is absolutely, I said this today, it's wide ass open. I mean, Tar Heels, and that all kidding aside, Tar Heels could have an opening, very unlikely, but Boston College, very unlikely. Most likely, I have to eat crow again. Now I'm eating Seminole crow because now it looks like Miami is probably the most favored team, along with Georgia Tech, and it's gonna be interesting to see. So, Joe, let's get back to Dabo Sweens, Dab Sweens over here. How one, he should have been fired, I think, a long while back. But I mean, at this point, come on, it's not like it's we're not like wrong for judging him for this at this point. Not taking his weirdness aside, but his just refusal to adjust with the times, like the get off my lawn guy.
I don't know about the fired a long time ago because just 2 years ago he was in the Orange Bowl. So let's hit the brakes on that.
All right,
first and foremost. Fair. But if I'm a recruit and I'm looking at and Clemson's on your short list or things of that nature, I'd be very concerned about a coach that's so rigid that they won't take advantage of obvious opportunities that exist in the portal. So to both of your guys' point, as far as the refusal to use the portal, it's not even just that. Quoted as saying that we looked in the portal and none of those guys could play for us.
I know.
So let's not even. It goes beyond not using the portal. It's saying that there was stuff on the shopping cart and they put them back on the shelf, saying, "Oh, they can't play for Clemson." Exactly. And then you go out week 1 and you put out that performance against Georgia, and you tell me that no one in that portal could have helped you be within 15 points of Georgia. That to me, you're not really, but everything's fine, right? Everything's fine. Great.
That's what he says. Fine. It's great. It's great.
It's week 1. Get it. That's fine. But the point is, if you don't adjust to the current state of college football, you might as well just not even be here. Okay. Nick Saban said his conversations recruits have changed so dramatically that he was done doing it. The greatest college football coach of all time said he was not willing to go to that extent. And he left. He was honest about it and said, "Hey, I'm too old for this mess. I've done everything I've wanted to do in coaching here. I'm good. I'm going to stand on it."
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I respect that. Instead of you coming out and doing the same thing every year and thinking something's going to change with what's going on with your program, if you're not willing to change the tactics, you know who's really killing it in this current era with NIL and things of that nature?
Mac Brown.
Well, just on a championship level.
Oh, okay? Sorry.
On an actual winning level, E-Rock. Yeah, worry about your quarterback before you worry about coaching. In terms of like doing it in this level, let's look at Dan Hurley in college basketball, who seemingly figured out how to plug holes in his teams and win championships back to back in this current NIL transfer portal era. That's an example of a coach who said, "Okay, this is what we've done in the past. This is what we have to do now to win basketball games now." He's adjusting to what's in front of him and looking forward. Dabo's not doing that. He's going to the well on what's gotten him victories before and expecting it to will it. He's expecting to will it to happen. And that's, if you can't change, if you can't adjust, then you're doing your team and your program a disservice.
I'll tell you. Hey, first off, Joe, don't project your frustration on my team. I'm allowed to.
Your frustration. I gave you straight facts.
I just said like worry about your quarterback. I am worried about my quarterback. It's true. That's true. But hey,
Me
Mac Brown
personally,
is-
I think Harold's going to be fine, but
I think he is too. But Mac Brown. My point is that Matt Brown, in all seriousness, yeah, and I agree. Like, obviously, we're not like the perennial powerhouse of football, but Mac Brown is old and he is changed with the times. Dabo Sweeney is just being an ass, essentially. And who's the other one? Oh, and here's another. We're gonna get a college basketball. Roy Williams, Mike Krzyzewski, same thing. They retired because they saw the writing on the wall. One, they were getting older, and two, this ain't your grandpappy's league anymore. You know, they don't recruit the same anymore. What's up? You got it.
And you just look at all of history. The game is always going to change, and you have to change with the times.
Got to.
Bill Belichick.
That's a great example.
He started out with a strong defense that won him 3 championships, morphed with a heavy offense, and then, at least for 15 seconds, morphed back into the strong defense, strong running game with Mac Jones for that year.
Yeah. Very
And
brief moment. Yeah.
And then, for college football, Nick Saban used to have the big, strong defense. He saw the spread offense coming in, the game changing, and completely fixed his defense. And you have to, if you don't change, the game will leave you behind. And that is exactly what's happened with Dabo Sweeney.
Yeah, ask Urban Meyer how that went. Ask Chip Kelly how that went, even though he managed to resurface. Granted, when the guy looks like his texture is literally made of flubber, what he looks like sitting in that damn box. If y'all ever seen like Chip Kelly, it looks like literally he has no bones. He just sits there like I don't. It just bothers it. The dude is like, y'all ever seen that movie Flubber or whatever? It's like that's what he's like. He's like a big old ball of flubber. I was like, how is this guy at football? It's like the one thing that reminds me of like, you know what? I'm about to coach basketball. I got to at least look better to the part then, because the worst case scenario, I do not want to be Chip Kelly. Yeah, okay. All right. So Andy Reid's different. Andy Reid's he's a league of his own. Okay. Yeah, it's just so I think we all agree, right? Hot seat, boom or bust. Like I think it's either college football playoffs 12 team for Clemson, or he's probably hitting the bricks. Yay or nay?
I don't think the proverbial stove is on quite yet, but the hand's on the dial.
Hands on the dial. Joseph, give me your Caesars thumbs up, thumbs down.
I stick to what I said. The guy's 2 years removed from an Orange Bowl. You can say the seat's warm, but I mean, outside of a sub 500 no bowl appearance season, I think he's fine.
LOL FS. Oh, that's just mean. Oh, Jordan, come on, that's just mean. By the way, it's FSU. It's not FS. Come on, if you're gonna do it, get the abbreviations right, Jordan.
Now,
see, look at that, Joe. I'm coming to your defense over here. Come on now. Look at that.
Now in 5 days, that seat could get turned up to 11 with a law. If App State can wind the clock back to 2007 and upset Clemson, that seat is going to get incredibly hot.
My other account fucking.
Hold on. Sorry. Jordan, Jordan, I gotta mute you, or I'll remove you temporarily. Oh, there he is. Okay, sorry, continue. I'm sorry.
But yeah.
Sorry, yeah. It's gonna get hotter gradually for sure. I don't disagree with that.
Well, in 5
I think
days, in 5 days, that proverbial dial can get cranked up quickly, because they play a very game App State in Clemson.
Dude, they lose to App. And App's not a bad team. They lose to App. And you said it's in Clemson too?
Yep.
Oh, then that they're cooked then. I'm telling you, Dabo.
I'm seeing E-Rock legit get the whiskey, get the champagne, get everything. He's like, overrated loser, yo. And also, yeah, I did put like FSU in the low FSU in the comments. Sorry, Joe. You might need to
You said
get,
FS. Get it right,
yeah,
bro.
I tried. No, I did. Like I misspelled it.
Worry
But, like I
about
put
the Jets,
FSU.
Worry about the Mets.
I'm
They
not.
actually,
I just saw them won today.
they actually beat the Red.
Worry
They beat
about
the
them.
Red
You
Sox.
let me worry about my team.
Got you.
Now,
Also, my brother literally said like that's it,
God.
like that FSU quarterback better start playing to use his degree. Man's on CDL watch.
Oh God. Okay, we're getting it before the cockfighting starts. Okay, so I will
That's
say
my
this.
brother.
and
No, I just know it. What?
I just think
Who?
I just think you need to get a new quarterback.
Dylan, you're up. Dylan, what did you say? What are you
and
up?
let me add on. If Clemson loses to App State, they're going to start the season at minimum 0-3, because after App State,
I think we're
they
playing
have-
too.
they have NC State.
Yeah, that's
and
a
now,
tough game.
and then a bowl game looks very, very unlikely. They do have Stanford, which they should beat Stanford. And then they go to Florida State, at Wake Forest, Virginia, Louisville, at Vatech, at Pittsburgh, the Citadel, and then South Carolina.
We're not playing them at all. Oh, that's unfortunate. I should like to play them. Oh, damn,
But
our
yeah.
schedule's.
I think you have them. I think you have them late, but I'll check again.
Man, we really have a. Well, actually, we're playing Georgia Tech. We're playing basically everyone Florida State. Oh, we are playing Florida State. We're playing Florida State at some point. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, October 5th in Tallahassee.
No. October 2nd. October 2nd. Saturday, October 2nd. But yeah, in Tallahassee. Yeah, that's true. And then we're playing Boston College. We're playing Wake Forest and Boston College and NC State. I think we're better than NC State. I think NC State's overrated. I mean, all seriousness, I think they are. That's a different story. Georgia Tech.
NC State struggled against West Carolina for a bit. Like
Well, I'll just say,
Western Carolina, the forgotten Carolina.
Hey. Don't talk about the catamounts from Cullowhee like that. I say, hey, I know many of people that graduated from Cullowhee, such as it is. So, oh, good God. Yeah, he is right, though, about this. If Clemson loses to App State, I am probably going to blow a gasket laughing my ass off, though. I'll be a big App State fan this upcoming weekend. It's like, funny thing is, my alma mater is playing North Carolina, and I'm still going to be cheering for North Carolina because that's how much of a fan I am. Oh my God, guys, Jordan, so we'll do a wrap up on this part real quick. Now that the game is at a close, Joseph. This isn't like closing for the show. We're almost closed, but this isn't quite closing for the show. So, is there any extra or any additional thoughts you have? Things you want to curse at?
Nope.
Or
I'll
nope.
save you trouble of the whole introduction. I've got nothing else left to say about this team right now. They are not worthy of any more of my time until they start winning football games. Move on.
That's a fair point, and that's a fair statement. Okay, well, y'all two, Dylan and Jordan. Dylan, I'll let you start first. Thoughts on with apologies to Joseph on this, but I think it needs to be said. It's like an intervention for Florida State, essentially. Thoughts about FSU, and now the score is officially 28-13. What are your thoughts about the Seminoles at this moment?
Well, it's over. Thanks for coming.
It's pretty much. Yeah, I think playoffs are pretty much shot now, right? Unless they somehow win the ACC championship somehow.
That's their only chance.
Win out.
That's their.
We could technically win it, I guess, mathematically, but I don't think it's likely.
they'd have to win out. And by what I'm looking at,
There's no
they don't beat
logical way.
Clemson, they don't beat Miami, they don't beat Notre Dame, and all three of them are on the schedule. So,
Dude, if they play like they did tonight, with respect, if they play like they did tonight, they ain't beat North Carolina either. With respect, I said even that they're not. Like, they played like doo doo. Like they played like absolute doo doo. They gave this game to BC. Literally gave it to them.
no,
This was
BC
like-
took it.
Well, they took it.
Let's be real about where
BC is solid.
BC took this game. They ran it down their throats, and they had no answers for it.
BC had the game played out the game plan that Florida State should have been implementing. They controlled time of possession. They ran the ball successfully. They stopped the run, and they created turnovers. It wasn't a lot of turnovers, but it was enough. And there was a lot of open passes in the end zone for Florida State. That was just weird. That was wacky. So, yeah. Ukulele is going to definitely I think there's going to be a quarterback decision that needs to be talked about. Has to be talked about. Not just needs, has to be, requires attention. Jordan, any thoughts as well about
Here's this very interesting fact. The Dodgers selected Oregon State University or State University DJ Ukulele. I don't know if it's the same guy, but that was in last year's draft. So yeah, when the baseball Twitter is making fun of you, is cooking you, you're cooked. You're literally cooked. That dude is gonna be working on his degree, man. You can look on his degree. Like they need to switch quarterback to try and change something up, because if they don't win out, if they don't do something, it's gonna be a long season for FDFU. I'm so sorry, Joe. Like, this is just.
Oh, Joe knows as well as anyone. Joe knows as well as anyone. Joe knows for sure as well. Let me give some closing stats here to show the discrepancy here. And Joe, I'm sorry to not trying to pile on. It's just the truth.
Just give the stats, bro. Don't apologize to me. We all saw the game.
Yeah, but I like you. You're like a good. You're like
you gotta do.
You're like my friend. I don't want to hurt. Okay, all right. Well, here we go. This is a nice guy. Southern hospitality. This is
it's hurting people with love, D-Rock. It's hurting people with love. Because
it's not even hurting me.
So much.
They're hurting themselves. I'm not getting
Hey. I'm not. You can't change an animal's color. You can't change a zebra's colors. But here, I'm only gonna read out. I'm gonna read out the ones that are significant. Here are the significant ones. Third down efficiency, 9 of 16. BC doesn't sound too great. Over 50%. Florida State, 3 of 14. Third down efficiency. That's terrible. That's horrible. BC never went for fourth down. Florida State went 1 for 3. Total yards actually doesn't seem that bad. It was about 369 BC, 293 Florida State. This is where it gets weird. And me and Joe said this before y'all hopped on. Passing yards, 106 for BC. Passing yards for FSU, 272. Now, it's like, oh, they outpassed them. Well, that obviously means they didn't need to pass the ball. So that leads you to ask, okay, let's check this out. Rushing, oh my God, this is where it gets really sticky. Rushing for BC, 263. I don't think Florida State gained a single yard rushing in the second half. I'm not kidding. I think that literally is actually the truth. Joe, I think we talked at halftime. I read out some of the stats. I don't think it changed anything. I think it may have been microscopic of a change, if anything. So 263 to 21. They had 52 rushing attempts to 16 on Florida State. 5.1 yards per carry to 1.3. BC had one penalty all game. One penalty, 15 yards. FSU 7 for 50. That's not even a lot in a normal game, but you allowed them to only have one.
So
Turnovers, not
that's
that
on
weird.
coaching, man.
No, and here's the only other one left. And it's the same as the previous one. It basically, I'm rounding up, it's 39 to 20, but it's the same thing. It's basically 2-1 in terms of time of possession. I think it says it all. Really, the stats, usually numbers can lie. Numbers don't lie in this game. Numbers don't lie. This was clearly a Bill O'Brien went in with the intention of bullying and fucking them up and controlling the clock and trying to bait the Seminoles into their game. And the Seminoles just fell for it. They fell into that trap like some clumsy kids. Like a fat boy going after a Twinkie on a string. Like they just absolutely had them. So
It's like James Wood and a pizza candy back in Family Guy. He's like, ooh, pizza candy. Ooh, pizza candy. And gets stuck in the box.
Exactly. I think this is more on coaching. Quarterbacking, not good, but I blame this on coaching more than anything. Not good. Not good. No. Bill O'Brien comes out looking like roses. I'm only going to give Bill O'Brien a certain amount of credit because he had a plan, but he didn't have to adjust that plan. We don't know how he would have had to adjust that plan, right? Now we'll see later on down the line. He's going to play better teams, assumingly. All right, guys. Well, that's what I'm saying. Let me see BC over here. All right, so let me get something. All right, let's get this. All right, let's go on a happy note. Let's go on a happy note. I'm not even going to do awful, or awesome, awful, and awkward. Okay, we can actually do a little bit of awkward, actually. That's kind of funny. So give me an awesome moment from this week one, or official week one play or anything otherwise. And if you want to, just a funny moment in general, because I already got one save for each one. So, Joe, I want Joe to smile. He won't smile anyway, but let's do our best. And we're all going to try and we're a team here. We're a team at ScOutCast. Jordan, why don't you go first this time? Give us like your favorite moment, like not a negative thing, a positive thing, either a great play or a funny moment.
Georgia being Clemson and the ACC celebrating. That is a great moment for ACC fans.
It was kind of negative. That's kind of negative.
It's kind of negative, but it's fun. It's fun for you from ACC fans. But
it's good for me.
I think it's like during the FS1 broadcast of Maryland UConn, they literally did like a Muppet. They literally a Muppet thing with like they have like the best player for football, and I was thinking like, UConn really needs those players. Needs Fossey Bear getting on the D line right now, because that was a really funny moment for the broadcast.
I like it. I like it. That's good. Dylan, we'll keep rolling around the board to you on this one.
All right. So I would say my.
He's like, all right. Fuck it. Yeah, fuck it.
So I got one positive moment in college football, and I got two that are outside of college football. That was actually a pretty cool sight. Okay. So the one in college football, Penn State going on the road to Morgantown with a crowd that once believed, and Penn State went in there and threw the clock back and won handily. And they actually was the team that impressed me more than anybody else in college football. So good for the Nittany Lions. And
hey, Happy Valley. Woo.
And I'm gonna do a little bit of a self plug. Look out for my rankings later this week on YouTube.
We'll get to that in a second. All right, a little eager beaver over here. All right,
and then my And then outside of the world of college football, there was two pretty awesome moments that happened on Sunday on the racetrack. And in Formula One, you had Ferrari going outside the box, a different strategy. And pretty much every single time since the beginning of history, every time Ferrari goes off strategy, it blows up in their face. Not this time. They defended home turf to thousands upon thousands of fans flooding the track and creating an always incredible moment at Monza when they go on to when Ferrari wins in the great country of Italy. And then in NASCAR, Chase Briscoe clinches a playoff spot in a win or go home situation. It was a great moment. There's a lot of emotional history behind Briscoe at Darlington, which is something we can get into at a different time.
Which we will very soon. Dylan, not me, but Dylan. That's it. News coming up soon. Continue your thought though.
But yeah, he was in a win the race or miss the playoffs, and he went out there and had an incredible duel with Kyle Busch in the closing laps and was able to hold him off.
So I'm going to ask you a question before we move on to Joseph at this point. Let's say Joshua. I have no idea why. Do you think just they were basically Ferrari was replacing Lewis Hamilton? Do you think this is like Lewis Hamilton? I feel like is just one of those salty kind of guys. Like Verstappen is absolutely a dog, and ever since he's taken the light in F1, I feel like he's just been that little bitchy dude. I mean, that's what I feel like.
So Lewis Hamilton, he's not as aggressive on the racetrack. He's because he's never really had to be when he was at Mercedes, and so it's just a different. It's just something different than what we've been used to with Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton being dominant as opposed with Max Verstappen.
But you just remember Verstappen like going on his historic run this past year, and then Lewis Hamilton like, it reminded me of like, it's so funny that you race for Mercedes because that's exactly the kind of thing I would expect for someone that drives a Mercedes Benz. Actually, that's just that goes out.
So I don't necessarily blame Lewis Hamilton for being frustrated with the car and how it was doing the last number of years. It's almost like you're getting fed steak each and every time at a snap of a finger. Well, you snapped your fingers that one time, and you get expired mashed potatoes.
Yeah, but that's his fault, though. That's his fault. He went chasing.
No, no. Mercedes missed on the regulation changes on the new car. They just flat out whiffed.
What's he with now? He's with McLaren now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No. He's finishing out the season with Mercedes, and then he's going over to Ferrari.
He's going back to Ferrari. Okay.
No. Lewis was never with Ferrari. He won't be with Ferrari until 2025.
Okay, I'm tripping. Let's talk about that off air.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, also why I said that, Dylan has a channel. He's happy to share. We all share the love here. All of our networks, our work, our musings, as Joe so puts it. And we like to, and I am. It's a student exchange program. Yes. Chad from ScOutCast Media is going to learn from the best over hither at Dylan Hildreth over here. I mean, he actually knows a lot of shit. When I mean learn, it's not about like knowledge of cars. It's about like Dylan knows how to host the racing show, and I'm excited to hear it, man. Teach me the things I know I don't know. I know that I don't know that I need to know more stuff. All right, I had to say it. Sorry, it's confusing, but you know what I'm saying. All right. Either way, I can't wait to hear y'all talk about it. It's really exciting because both y'all are so passionate about it. But Yes, that is going to happen, guys. Listen to that. If you're a gearhead, Dylan knows a lot more F1, and Chad, admittedly, he says he knows about it, but he knows a lot more about NASCAR / American, all sorts of racing. So, but they'll talk. They'll talk. I'll give him here, and we'll talk about that off air as well. Joseph, give me a funny or your a great moment or a funny moment that stands out to you from official week 1 in college. I'm curious to hear it. We'll go on
Yeah,
a light
Miami
note.
coming into the swamp was pretty amazing. Love what they did. Cam Ward is slinging it, and I
There you
hope they
go.
continue to success. I'm a 954 product, so it's good to see our neighbors down south 305 represent. So good for them coming into the swamp and help them ease their way into their potential 2-11 season.
You know, I love it. It's like, you ever heard remember the old saying, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend"? That's something comes to mind when I hear that. Look at Ooh, Jordan, you're gonna love that. Speaking of enemies, I'm not enemies. I just like this. We got a little butthurt teenager here. What is this show sponsored by today? Actually, I'm so glad you asked. That's incredible that he knew what brewery is sponsoring today. That actually is a great point, Brady. Thank you for bringing that up. I just finalized the deal today, and he thought he was being cute. He thought he was being cute, but he's actually right. I just not finalized the deal that couples Twin Peaks in Winston-Salem with the best brewery in Winston-Salem, Foothills Brewery. It is statewide. In fact, it is East Coast wide. But we got the local brewery involved, and I'm going to start podcasting there and getting paid for it along with Twin Peaks. And I'm saying I'm getting paid. When I said I'm getting paid, we are getting paid. We are getting paid. Brady, you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid. Brady, that's going to come out of your allowance. That's going to come out of your mom's allowance. You and your mom's allowance. Okay. So I don't know. Whatever you and your Canadian loonies, whatever your loony allowances, you have to go outside sometime, man. It's okay. Mr. I don't subscribe to this channel anymore. Yeah, that's why I love trolls. That's why I love trolls, man. I don't watch your show. It's great. Okay. Sorry, I had to do it. Okay. So, but thank you. That is great. You did lead me into that. Thank you to Foothills Brewery. And by the way, best beer at Foothills Brewery. Man, I love the Torch Pilsner. Oh, it's so good. The Carolina Blonde is good too. And if you like stouts, they have a sexual chocolate stout that's only in the wintertime. I'm not a fan of stouts. That ain't my stilo. And Hopium IPA is also very popular. I'm not a fan of IPAs, but I do love me some Carolina Blonde.
I do like IPAs fine.
So there you go. There you go. And you're on the East Coast. I bet you can find it somewhere in New York, actually. Yeah. You can look it up, and you can show it off. Brady, hey, in Canada, I'm sure it's there too.
Like one of the supermarkets, like they probably have it. Or at least like one of the bodegas at least.
Ah, where is the Foothills Brewery location? What another great question from our man from the Great White North. Well, when I say man, I mean young boy. From our young boy from the Great White North. It's not Molson's or Labatt Blue, so don't worry, but it is still very good. And they are based out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, my hometown. And they have 2 locations. That's right. The tasting room off of Stratford Road. Yes, near Empire Boulevard. And there is also, he's right, the brewery restaurant itself. Great food, by the way. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Andrew. Shout out to Andrew, the bartender over here. The bartender. And they have really good food. And yes, but that's where it's located. And how much are we paying well, I'm not going to tell you how much I'm paying them because that's none of your beeswax, my friend. But I will say this. I am going to be very transparent, and all of my, and you said my guests, not my guests, they're my co-hosts. Yeah, you said co-host. This is our channel. This isn't my channel. It's our channel. So we're all going to split it evenly amongst ourselves. That's how we do it here at ScOutCast Media. Dylan, Joe and Jordan and Gabe and anyone to, whenever their schedule allows. Oh Lord. So I think that I don't know what this I'm not reading all this. This stuff is oh, it's just offensive. Oh, Brady, now you're just being offensive. Okay, so guess what? We are going to I'm gonna tell you my funny one for the week. Did y'all see, speaking of Florida, Joseph, you're gonna love this. Did you see the post-game press conference of the Florida coach and his wrestling match with his water bottle?
I did not.
Oh my God. I felt bad for the poor bastard. He was talking, he's answering questions. And in the meantime, while I'm bringing this up, I'll say what my amazing one. The interception. God, what was that team's name again? Someone help me. Robert Morris? Is that what the team's name was? The interception from the cornerback, that twisted one-handed catch. It was a pick.
Type pick.
Yeah, but that, I mean, I guess I hate the fact people keep saying, is it already catch of the year? I'm like, how can it be catch of the year? We just started it, but all right.
Well, it's catch of the year so far.
Well, so that's true. That's true. But the catch with USC last night, which one was better in y'all's opinion? The one with the targeting, or the one where he caught it between two defenders one-handed? Which one did you think?
Me personally, I'll go one-handed pick.
The pick was so dope, man. I'm sorry. I just. What about you, man?
I gotta go with a one-handed pick. Granted, I didn't watch a whole lot of I didn't watch a whole lot of college football because I was at work, but I do like the one-handed snags.
There you go. All right. This is for Joseph. This is dedicated to you. From live from the swamp yesterday. Here you go, bro. Joseph the Broseph. Let me present this sucker. This is great. I love it when people. This is like reminding me of like a political thing back in the day. There you go.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, given the experience and how confident you were in this team going into the season, just how disappointing, surprising was this performance?
Yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing, to be quite honest with you. Yep. That's how I feel. That's how our kids feel. We've got a decision to make.
I think you opening that bottle is a little bit more embarrassing than your team's play, actually.
I mean, given the experience and how confident you were in this team going into the season.
I don't know who had a harder time, him opening this bottle or FSU's
Yeah, Coach.
offense.
I mean, given the experience and how confident you were in this team going into the season, just how disappointing and surprising was this performance?
This is so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's embarrassing, to be quite honest with you. Yep. That's how I feel. That's how our kids feel. We've got a decision to make. I mean, I think we have.
He just puts it down.
Yeah, Coach. I mean, given
He just gives up. He just gives up, man. I don't have my bottle. Where's my bottle of water? Here it is. Yeah, I'm just, disappointed. Damn thing. Come on. Damn thing.
If I'm a recruit at Gainesville, watching this happen, watching the game, watching that press conference, like I'm strongly first and foremost, I'm strongly wondering what's going on in the strength room of this program, first and foremost. That's the one thing I'm gonna have questions about now at this point, because if you can't even open a water bottle, how can you coach us to move an offensive lineman or move a defensive line? I have questions, right? So, I mean, I don't know how you come back from that. Like, honestly. And the giving up for me was just like almost like an added piece. The fact that he just laid it down, like, just was a reflection of what happened to their team at the end of that game. It was just like, all right, I'm just gonna forget it. It's like over.
Do you get Do you think you're smooth and give up just like this, or do you just be like, "Or this fucking water bottle," and you
Like,
smack it on the
his
podium?
family's had to see that. They've got social media. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a meme somewhere.
Oh, it's a meme. Oh, it's
on
already a meme.
TikTok. Like, you know, this
That
dude's
was
just
from
like,
TikTok. That was literally from TikTok, actually.
bruh, man.
Oh my
Gosh.
god.
20 years ago, you could have gotten away
Yeah,
with that,
so-
and no one would know about that. But
Yeah, so if it was the
Now,
ketchup bottle,
it
if it was
didn't
the
happen. It
ketchup
was on
bottle, been
social media
different.
already.
If it was the ketchup bottle, been different. I would have been a pickle jar, a ketchup bottle. Sure. I don't know why you'd be doing that on stage.
I don't know
but
why you would
still-
have that at a press conference, but
I mean,
yeah.
that's my point. Yeah, obviously, but still, it's like, it's just. I mean, just what's wrong with this fucking thing? I told you to bring a smile to your face, Joe. I told you good. It's like Florida's coach can't even just open a damn water.
Like at this point, all you can do is just slam the toss the water bottle as hard as you can at something.
That's what
Just
I was
like-
thinking.
Just
Yeah.
just play it off. Like
Treat it like a football. Be like, hey, you know what we should have done? Go long and just like go to the crowd with it.
I would
That's
have
what
been
we
more
should-
viral if he would have threw it. He would've
This
just,
team
like,
can't
threw
get
it or
shit
just
done.
slammed it on the ground like Kelly did.
This bottle
Just
is
so
weak.
upset. Woo! Imagine what a turn of events if he would have opened the bottle by accident. He just slammed it, and all of a sudden, it just popped open. What
This
a
bottle.
plot twist!
We're
That would
doing
have given him hope next week.
We're gonna do a Denny Green like this bottle is what I thought it was, and I let it off the hook. I let it off the fucking hook. You play to open the bottle. You play to win the game. You play to open the bottle. That poor bastard. I think he should have kept fighting with it. I think he should have put his damn teeth through it like a Wolverine at that point. I mean, just go ham, bro. Don't let it off the hook. That's great. That he's not gonna get away from that one. That's Lord. So the swamp gators can't open bottles. Apparently, we all know that now. That's a new breaking news. Gators can't open water bottles. Okay, back to you, Bob. All right. So guys,
explains
Jordan,
a lot, actually.
That does explain quite a bit, doesn't it? The Everglades. That's why the Everglades. That's why people are. Why the Everglades are are being so polluted because people are trying to put water bottles in them. Like, come on, y'all. That's just mean and messed up. We want to keep the waters clean. All right, don't listen to it. Huh. Oh Lord. All right. On that note, guys, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and do closing comments, and let's go ahead and closing comments and calling cards. I will do Jordan's for him at that point. So Joe, you go first, just because I'm still laughing at the water bottle thing. Sorry, I'm cracking.
Yeah, all my musings, whether entertainment or sports related, you can find them at Java Joe Sports on the X. Link to my writing portfolios there as well. My only saving grace is that NFL football season starting, and I'll get to watch that Thursday, Friday, Monday, Sunday. Pretty soon, we're just going to have football every day, which would be interesting and see how that works out. But looking forward to that. If you haven't joined a league, join one. Fantasy football is a lot of fun, especially with homies.
Yes.
So look out for that.
Shout out. Good call, Joe. Good call. All right. Oh, that's a great shout out. Dylan, same question / prompt to you, sir.
I am Dylan Hildreth. The famous YouTube channel is currently back under construction. We're gonna be doing some different things on there, and pretty much everything that I was doing on Twitch, I'm gonna be doing on YouTube, along with a lot of other things that's going on. So there's gonna be some overhauling on the YouTube, and yeah, so.
Sounds good. I love it. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for the science fiction novel that Joseph is writing. And I can't wait for this new racing show on your channel, which is awesome. Hey, Andrew, come here, bro. Come here, bro. Why? Because I'm gonna shout you out, bro. Andrew's about to be here for when I turn 34 in the next 22 minutes. Hellfire. You know, that's just that's just a cool dude right there. What up, Andrew? Say what's good, baby. Hey, he says, "What's up? How y'all?" There you go.
Yep.
Say hello to ScOutCast Media Hub and all dudes. He's not usually this reserved. He's can't. Yeah, he's ready to go. I feel him. I am too. I'm just waiting for that little moment there. What? Oh, okay. All right. I want to give a shout out. Thanks to B-Dubs as well. They're not sponsoring us or nothing. I'm just saying I appreciate everyone treats me well here, and hope to grill out tomorrow. Joe, I'm gonna dedicate that to you. I'm gonna grill out. I'm gonna do kebabs tomorrow. Steak kebabs with some mixed potatoes. Do roasted, rosemary butter. Doing that with it, and I'm gonna get some grilling veggies and stuff like that. I'm gonna do it the right way. Dedicating to you, all right? There you go. There you go. I'll dedicate to all of you. Dedicate to ScOutCast Media is what I'm gonna do. All right, boys and girls. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and let's do football, man. Let's hit it. Thursday. I can't wait to kick the crap out of Jordan this week. And best of luck to everyone in ScOutCast Swaggy League, man. Everyone, take it easy. Talk to y'all soon.